Back in 1978 and 1979, performance numbers here in the United States were at an all-time low. There were things like the gas crisis, smog regulations, and well, let's face it, designers didn't know what to do with themselves. There was, however, one shining star, and that star came by way of a Dodge pickup truck that, well, very few people know about. We're very lucky today because behind me sits a 1979 Dodge Little Red Express truck. It's the original muscle truck and a truck that we've been trying to find. Now, granted, it's a little bit out of our wheelhouse, but I think it's something that you guys are truly going to enjoy. With the aerodynamics of a barn door, the looks of a child's play toy, and the performance numbers that made it the fastest American vehicle produced in the late 1970s, it's no surprise that Dodge's Little Red Express truck is not only one of my favorite vehicles of all time, but owner Jay Hendrickson's as well.
It's a 1979 Dodge Little Red Express truck, one of 5,188, somewhere in that general neighborhood. She's got a 360, high-performance 360 motor that was made for police cars with a little bit hotter heads and a little bit better cam. It's got a dual snorkel intake, 727 transmission. This is almost exactly the way it came from the dealer. I've done a few little extra things to it, but not enough to aggravate a purist. So I'm trying to keep it as stock as possible.
These trucks turned out to be a glaring middle finger to the smog regulations of the 1970s and were the one true loophole in the American performance market. Plus, since there were under 7,400 produced in their 2-year life cycle, the Little Reds are not only considered to be the world's first true muscle truck, but some of the rarest and coolest trucks ever to come out of Detroit. So the 1979 Dodge Little Red Express truck, the fastest American-made production vehicle in the year 1979. Faster than a Trans Am, faster than a Corvette, faster even than a 1979 Ferrari 308. Now, picture this. Picture pulling up to that line. What the hell is this guy? I got some redneck in a plaid shirt sitting next to me and he wants to go. Well, guess what? Light turns green, you put your right foot to the floor, light up the rear tires, and you're gone. Power-wise, it's got 225 horsepower and 290 pound-feet of torque. I mean, that's not terrible, even by standards back then. But it was good enough for it to go out and run a 15-second quarter mile and top out at 128 miles an hour. Granted, again, not the fastest thing, but enough grunt that when you put your foot on it, it does go. And it makes you laugh. You know why? Because it shouldn't. There's nothing about an adventure pickup truck that's like remotely exciting. Now, remember that this truck was designed back in the late 1970s. Designers had to resort to gimmicks to sell cars and trucks. What that meant was they put stickers on everything. The Trans Am, for instance, had a screaming chicken on the hood. The AMX Hornet had this crazy hornet. And the Mustang Cobra, well, you guessed it, had a Cobra on the hood. Now, contrary to popular belief, and this is for you Honda guys, stickers don't make your car go faster. A motor does. Now, that's where the guys at Dodge got it right. You see, the Little Red Express found a loophole. It got around all the smog equipment that plagued the other cars. That's why designers and engineers were able to give it a 360 cubic inch small block out of the Police Interceptor from Chrysler. Yeah, oh, look at that. You know what the beauty about stuff like this is? It's simple. Look under this engine bay and what do you see? You've got a nice small block V8, plug wires that you can get to, a power steering pump that you can get to, alternator, carburetor. Everything is right in front of you. You can check it. You know how things work. If for some reason this truck stopped working or what have you, 9 times out of 10 something fell off. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to be able to throw up this hood, look underneath and be like, oh, there's a problem. These engine bays were uncluttered and simple to understand, which was a theme that flowed throughout the Little Red. Looking around this truck, there's no mistaking that you are actually driving a vehicle that came from a work truck. I mean, the dash is very utilitarian. I mean, there's no radio. You have a big speedometer, alternator fuel gauge, temperature gauge, no air conditioning, things that were just standard to pickup trucks. The fact that the truck is so dressed up is a bonus for those who wanted a fun truck that they could race on weekends, but then haul a 4x8 sheet of plywood with during the week when they had to go to work. So let's talk about the handling of this thing. What's it like to drive? Well, if you settle down and you go into pimp stance, not bad. It's a nice cruiser. I mean, the suspension is soggy enough that it soaks everything up. It's actually a really nice, compliant ride, and I can see why people bought these things. You pull up to any place today and people are going to look at this thing and they're going to think it's a kid car. They're going to look at it and go, well, why did you put the stacks on it? Why did you put the stickers on it? And what they don't realize is this thing is bone stock. Bone stock from Dodge. Stickers, side pipes, wood paneling, slotted wheels, 360. I mean, badass bone stock, man.
If you Google Little Red Express truck, there's a lot of information online now. There is a club based in Newport News, Virginia, run by Skip Gibbs. If you actually own one and don't belong to the club, they put out a great newsletter, and that would be the way to go if you're interested in being an owner or are an owner.
The Dodge Little Red Express guys who own these trucks and know about these trucks love them. And there's a reason. It's an oddball. It really is. You got to remember, this was the original muscle truck before the Chevy 454 SS pickup, before the Ram SRT10, and before, the Ford Lightning even. This was it. This was the go-fast truck that enthusiasts went to when they wanted to go down the quarter mile, when they wanted to go light-to-light racing, and when they wanted to smoke the tires just for and giggles. I bet you I could offer $1 to every 16-year-old with an iPhone who's ever heard of this truck, and I bet you I'd never break a 20. You see, that's what we want to do here on Big Muscle. We want to show you guys cars that you might have never seen. I mean, I'm sure there are some of you guys out there in Europe and the Ukraine and China and everything else that you guys don't know what this truck is. I mean, you have to realize, Americans, we were the inventors of the muscle car, man. We were the big block superheroes. So stuff like this, models that were made for only 1 or 2 years, are very, very significant as far as the development of everything that came after it. The 78 and 79 Little Red. Don't forget it, because, hell, you got to know your history if you're going to get into these cars.
I am attracted to unusual things and especially unusual vehicles. So the fact that there are so few of these is a turn on right at the get-go. It's just a nice package. It's a factory vehicle, it's stock, but it's also a hot rod, and it's got plenty of power. I'm kind of a low-key person to begin with, so this is a way of expressing myself, I guess.
So this week on Big Muscle, we learned 1, sometimes stock doesn't suck. 2, I get to wear plaid when I drive trucks. And 3, if you owned a Ferrari back in 1979, this Little Red Express truck was your worst nightmare. The other thing we learned is that sometimes you don't need a muscle car to have a muscle car. So if you've got a car or truck that you want to see featured on Big Muscle, drop us a line at drivebigmuscle@gmail.com. And as always, tune in next week for more Big Muscle on Drive. I mean, now honestly, with this truck here, did you really think we weren't going to do a burnout? Box open. Gotta love old cars where just randomly falls off. It's character. Gives it soul. No, stupid. It means it's broken.